So, hello, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon.
And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to present my topic today. Well, the topic what I would be covering in the next 5 to 7 minutes, that is globalization good for the world? Right? So, moving on. So this will be the flow. I'll be talking about what globalization is, what are the different types of globalization, a brief history about that, right? And then I will be weighing the pros and cons, and then finally conclusion, right? So, yeah. So what do you mean by globalization, right? So globalization is essentially, coming together of people, organizations, and even countries, right? Uh, so these are the three different types of globalization: social, political, and economic. Reasons can be sundry. So it can be individual reasons, personal needs and all, through social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. It can be political also, like governments of different countries, they have their own agenda, right? So they can connect with the different governments of different countries. And finally, economic reasons. Consider the example of IBM, right? It's a US headquartered organization, but present in some 170 countries, right? So, to further their business needs and all, they are present in different countries. So these are the three different types of globalization. Moving forward. So let me get back into history. If you look at modern globalization, it all started in 19th century, right? And industrialization at that time, that helped, that gave impetus to this, right? What was happening is, a lot of commodities were getting manufactured, and there was population growth also, right? So the commodities were coming out of industries, and there were population to use that, right, to consume that. And this also got facilitated by imperialism. By imperialism, I mean, we all know about Great Britain, right? It had many colonies, right, across the world, be it India, be it Africa, so on and so forth, right? So whatever was getting manufactured in Great Britain, that was getting, exported to these countries. Apart from that, whatever was getting, manufactured in those colonies and all, that those were moving to Britain and other colonies, right? And not only about things getting manufactured, it's also about, the natural resources and all, like, coal, rubber, things like that, right? And aside from that, at that time, China also came into this foreign trade after the First and the Second Opium War, right? So there was a big impetus, to globalization at large. So moving forward. Now these are some of the advantages of globalization. I have listed some 8 advantages, but let me harp on, some of the key ones. Global mass media ties the world. Right? If you look at things which are happening at a different nook and corner of the world, right? So whatever happens in one part, it will get known to people from other parts also. This is because of the internet, the print media, people moving around to different countries and all. Liquidity of capital. Now, as an individual or as an organization, if I want to set up my office offshore, right? Then I can, transfer my fund. I can float my fund to different countries. An example in this case can be, foreign exchange. How easily it can be, transformed, right? Then greater flexibility with corporations. Now, think of IBM. IBM is a very audacious organization, right? While it is headquartered in US, it is present in some 170 plus countries, right? Software development happens mostly from India, right? But at the same time, it gets deployed in other client places across the world, right? So, greater flexibility for IBM in terms of, managing its operations, using resources not only from US, but also from different countries, like be it China or be it India, so on and so forth. There are some other advantages also. I'll not dive deeper into that. You can have a look at that and then by yourself. We can move on. So these are some of the disadvantages of globalization, right? So again, some 6 pointers are there. I will not get into each and every, but some of the key ones are job security. Now let's admit it. no job is secure anymore. Today, if the corporation thinks that we have to move certain roles from one country to another country, they will do it. Of course, there will be some business reasons to that, right? An example, let me give you an example here. We all know that, you know, the call centers and the BPOs, they were thriving in the 2000s, right? Because at that time, you know, a lot of English-speaking youngsters were there in India, and, you know, the quality was also good, right, of their, you know, deliverables and all. But what happened? After some time, you know, all those jobs shifted to Philippines kind of countries, right, wherein the cost was less. Quality was more or less same, but the cost was less. So that's an example for, you know, job security. Now, economic disruptions. Okay, let's think of, you know, the economic meltdown which happened in 2008, right? So there was a big disruption in US. We all know about, you know, the biggies like Lehman Brothers and all. They fell like ninepence, right? So you know, because of economic disruptions in one country, other countries also got affected. Yeah? There was a ripple effect in India also, right? So that is one disadvantage. Aside from that, you know, preserving cultural heritage. Now, because of all these countries and individuals and corporations coming together, getting interconnected, you know, it's very difficult to preserve our own cultural heritage, right? Coming forth with the cultural expressions and all, it's not that easy. Okay, so this is one of the disadvantages. So having weighed the, you know, the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of globalization, I think globalization is here, you know, and it will thrive. It will be here and it will thrive. And it's just that, you know, we have to find the right balance. With all the good things, few bad things will also come. So we have to focus on the right things and try to mitigate the risks. So this is all I had to say. Thank you.